Okay, and this video is designed to give you a little bit of a preview for Friday's quiz of the main topics to cover. This would be great information for you to watch Thursday night in order to kind of prepare yourself for the quiz. Using your textbook here, key things that we'll identify are hemispheres, where we live in terms of hemispheres. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And what latitude and longitude measure. Okay, and in terms of hemispheres, we live in the northern hemisphere, which is divided uh, north and south by the equator. We also live in the western hemisphere in North America. The dividing line there, which divides east and west, is known as the prime meridian. Another feature of geography that we'll be studying tomorrow on Thursday in class, and we may have a question that is analyzing how to look at a scene and get an idea of that scene's geography. For example, using GeoGuessr, so you may want to use GeoGuessr to kind of practice. We can look at different scenes. We can look at, is it a mountainous region? Is it near the coastline? Is there sand present? Is it a heavy forest? So we can make guesses and inferences from that. So we'll talk about the different land formations a little bit tomorrow in class. And then we'll have maybe a question or two on your quiz to identify an area based on land mass. The questions that will be covered on the quiz involving economics will primarily include this term, entrepreneurship, and that's the act of running a business and taking on the risk of that business. You did that on Tuesday in class when you proposed your idea for an app that you might create. Two things that we talked about with your app, and that was trying to measure how they would be impacted by supply and demand. Supply is the amount of a good or service that a producer wants to sell. So you, when you created your app, decided on an amount that you would hope to sell. And then demand is the amount of something that the consumer wants to buy. And we talked a little bit about how those impact each other. Something that has high demand but there's a low supply of it could raise the price of the item, or something that there's a lot of supply and a lot of demand. We use the notebook as an example, your spiral notebook, probably going to be a lower cost. One topic that we touched on at the end of the app activity was, as you've created your app, you have your idea, you've priced how much you would charge for your app. Then the next question is, how could your app be impacted or affected by a recession? And a recession is when the economy grows very slowly or it shrinks. That's better known as a recession. Or how could inflation, rising prices, impact your app? So those are things we talked about on Tuesday and Wednesday. Maybe a question about recession, just to make sure you understand what a recession is. Or inflation, just to make sure you understand inflation. And finally, kind of wrapping things up for what you may see on your quiz on Friday, we're going to talk about the role of government, the three branches of our government, including the checks and balances. I'll also post a link to the vocabulary video we watched in class. You can watch that again to help you understand. There will definitely be questions about the branches of government. Look for, identifying them, and look for what they do. What is their role in our government? So the quiz will be on Friday, and we will be using Socrative to take it here with the iPads in class. And also on Friday, we'll be spending a little bit more time talking about citizenship. We'll finish up Friday with a Kahoot lesson on citizenship. To see if you could pass a citizenship exam. That exam is just give you an idea of what the actual citizenship exam is like. It will not count for or against your grade. But the big thing for the end of this week is the quiz that you will have over economics, geography, and the three branches of government. Okay, and a friendly reminder, if you haven't finished Board Builder, you need to try to get that in shared with me using the Discovery Ed site by this afternoon, Wednesday. If you can't, I will be here from 7 a.m. to 7:35 in the mornings. I have 7 student computers that you can use to do it. If you don't have internet access, or if the internet's acting funny, or you're having login issues, I can help you before school. Um, Also, we're going to review primary and secondary sources tomorrow. It's not a quiz, but it'll give you a good review so we can make sure we understand those. And then, as you can see, on Friday, we'll have a quiz over economics. We'll be doing a lot of activities with citizenship and geography. And then we will also have a Kahoot game Friday to kind of end the week talking about citizenship. Last but not least, a preview of what we're going to be doing tomorrow in class with the iPads. Uh, we've used GeoGuessr a little bit to talk about geography. Tomorrow, tomorrow with the iPads, we're going to do an activity where you're going to create a GeoGuessr game yourself using this site, GeoSetter. If you want to try it at home and practice a little bit, you can. I'll show you one that I created using GeoSetter. So this would be an example of a location that I created on GeoCetter. I think you can probably figure out where this is, and this may be one of the first things we talk about tomorrow in class. So study this picture a little bit. You won't be able to move it so much since it's just a recording, but take a moment to kind of look and see if you recognize this place. All right, we will see you on Thursday, and make sure you're studying a little bit for Friday's quiz. Talk to you later.